Please welcome our next speaker, Danny. The floor is yours.
Uh, Hello, everyone. Thank you, Oleg. First of all, I'm Danny, and today I want to talk to you about a topic that for me it's very important during the job searching, creating artistic portfolios for video games. My story is a bit different as I come from the world of comics where I learned a lot about the art of telling stories through images. But after 4 years, I discovered my true passion in pre-production, creating characters, environments, world building, and more. That's when I realized that video game industry offered a unique opportunity to bring my ideas to life in an interactive way. Personally, I consider myself a character designer, and my personal portfolio is full of characters with a lot of influence of my personal artistic taste. That is more based in comics or anime. I will show you some examples about it. For example, this is how I usually present my characters with some exploration, details, and a close up, followed by a full representation of the character itself. These pieces are from some years ago, and I'm not happy with the quality and didn't represent me at all. That's the reason that they are no longer in my portfolio. And it's good to see those problems because it permits you to upgrade your portfolio to something more comfortable. So next, these artworks here are more recent, and I learned that it's good to accompany your characters with some visual development of the final product or some expressions to know a little bit more about the character. Like in the next one, this is mostly the same. It's a character with some visual development, so you can see more about her. Also, the personality, her job, and etc. I'm constantly upgrading my portfolio, and it's true that each artist has its own vision of how to present their characters. So I prefer to focus on general terms in order to make this talk more useful for artists in general. But the most important thing and what I want to talk about today is how did an aspiring comic artist manage to break into the video game industry? And yes, how you know, with a portfolio and a whole bunch of things that we are going to talk about right now. So let's go. For this presentation, we have 4 points to cover. That is, what is a portfolio, targeting the portfolio, sending it, and creation tips. And later, we have some key points that work as our resume of the talk. So let's start. So, what is a portfolio? Normally, when someone is looking for a job, they send their resume and the cover letter. But in our case, we also have to showcase our work. And where is when the portfolio enter the scene? So it's difficult to define what a portfolio for video games is, but for me, it's basically a presentation letter where you show not only what you can offer artistically, but also a place where you can freely explore what you enjoy the most. In my case, the characters. So the portfolio should not only be a collection of works, but also need to be coherent and solid. Often, it's better quality over quantity. In order to achieve this, it's important to showcase your strengths and not all the points you can scratch. This means that you must carefully select the pieces that you include in your portfolio and make sure that each one demonstrates a skill or a strength that you want to highlight. So in my case, I usually use a few characters with some development behind them, like poses, different views of them, expressions, or examples of gameplay movements, accompanied with some visual development illustrations to put these characters in a background that tells more about them. So with this, I can show not only my artistically skill, but also my skill to develop them. So I think, as you can see in this example, Overwatch Artist reflects super well how this structure works. As you can see, there are two views of the character, a close-up for face expression, and also some movements. Also, there is a visual development illustration to show some storytelling about the character itself. So this game is one of my influences in terms of how to present a portfolio based on characters. So let's continue. For me, there are two types of portfolios that you can consider: the personal project and the technical one. In the first, you can show your creativity and your ability to develop an idea from scratch. In the second, you can show specific skills such as texturing, painting, render, or 3D modeling. But for me, the perfect one in the perfect scenario is a mix between these two. So you can show your creativity not only with beautiful illustrations, but also with technical development of them. With everything covered here, let's continue. So, targeting the portfolio to each company. The portfolio should be flexible depending on where you want to aim it. Each video game company has different needs and seeks different skills. So, for example, but not the rule, a large and established studio may be looking for someone solid who is capable of efficiently performing its tasks and can easily integrate into an already formed team. In this case, it's important to show your technical skills and your ability to work in a team. Here you need to be the piece they need. So on the other hand, a small but powerful studio more focused on creation and generating new IPs may be looking for someone with a unique creativity and vision who can bring new ideas and carry different tasks, such as brainstorming, design, game art, etc. In this case, it's important to show not only your technical skills, but also your ability to create and design new concepts. Every day you will wear a different hat, and your portfolio needs to demonstrate that. But remember, as in the example from one of the Warhammer games, you can create a balanced mix of these two portfolios by tailoring your presentation to highlight the skills that a particular studio needs. For example, you can show your technical skills, such as 3D modeling, texturing, or character art, to demonstrate your proficiency in those areas. And additionally, you can include samples of your work that showcase your creativity thinking process, such as concept art, sketches, and also notes to demonstrate your ability to generate new ideas and contribute to the creative process. Having this in mind, let's go with the next topic. So you can just blindly send your portfolio. So there you have it. You have your portfolio ready, and now you send it out, and the next day you are working. Is that easy? So I think not. So having an excellent portfolio doesn't guarantee that you will pass through the selection process. Companies receive dozens and dozens of applications, and having a great portfolio alone may not be enough to stand out over the rest. So it's important to keep in mind that competition can be thought in the video game industry, and simply sending out your portfolio may not be sufficient. You may need to go the extra mile to highlight yourself among the other candidates. And as Mario, you will need to boost up your portfolio not with mushrooms, but with a lot of things that can make your portfolio stand up over the rest. This can include networking, building connections on LinkedIn, attending industry events, and continuously improving your portfolio based on feedback or new skills. Also, it's important to keep in mind that having a good portfolio and sending it to every video game company you find won't work. And it can be very frustrating. So remember that all the time you invest on a building job searching strategy is not wasted. There are tons of offers, and remember that that train will pass more than two times. So it's necessary to do prior research and tailor your portfolio to each specific company. Moreover, it's important to accompany your portfolio with a good networking session. Don't let all the weight fall on your portfolio alone, as it's important for companies to know the person behind it as well. So, talking to specific people in the company you want to apply can be very beneficial. So, some tips that can help you in this process are study the company you want to apply, looking at their IPs and analyzing how your skills and strengths can fit into their work. And also, it's important to organize your portfolio efficiently, putting the most relevant and highest quality pieces at the beginning, for example, and work in a it's this is basic, but and work in a good resume and a open letter that match the quality of your portfolio. So don't waste time sending your portfolio to companies that don't match your profile, because it's better to focus on those companies that can appreciate your skills and where you can develop professionally. In summary, it's important to research the company well, tailor your portfolio to their needs, and accompany it with a good networking session to maximize your chance of success. With all this knowledge, your success ratio will be higher. So now let's focus again in the portfolio itself with sorry, with some tips for your portfolio creation. So the first one, carefully select your material. Make sure that the pieces you include in your portfolio reflect your skills and strengths and are relevant to the type of job you are applying for. For example, imagine that you are applying to a big company that make casual games, but your portfolio is full of realistic game art. Okay, you are an excellent artist and you are prepared for the video game industry, but your work doesn't match with the company you are applying to. Don't just show pieces that you like, but rather be coherent and relevant with the company you are applying to. Recruiters will appreciate it and you will avoid tons and tons of frustration, trust me. So the next tip is perfect to correct this. So create new assets if it's necessary. If we are playing to a company that you like a lot that has a very specific visual style and you don't have pieces in your portfolio that match that style at all, don't hesitate to create new assets that reflect it. So show your versatility and ability to adapt if it's necessary. That's an important skill, and your portfolio can speak for you in this case. And now the third tip is pay attention to the presentation. So this is basic, but we need to remember that don't limit yourself to showing your pieces in a flat and boring way. Think about how you can present them attractively and professionally. Include high quality images, detailed information about each piece, and make sure that everything is well organized and easy to navigate. It's basic, but it's good to remember this part. So right now you have platforms that basically can cover this, like Behance, the for example ArtStation. But if you want to make something more personal, like a website or a PDF portfolio, as is the case, be sure to pay attention to your portfolio design. So for the next tip, this one for me is one of the most important. Regularly update your portfolio. As you acquire new skills and create new pieces, don't hesitate to update your portfolio to reflect them. Keep your portfolio fresh and up to date and ready for every occasion. And don't be afraid to remove all pieces if you feel they are no longer reflect your current work. Again, repeat, quality over quantity. And the last one, and this is hand by hand with the second tip, consider the company you are applying to. Research the company and their visual style before creating your portfolio. If it's possible, tailor your portfolio to fit the company's culture and visual style. Include pieces that show your ability to work on similar projects to those companies has done in the past. And also search for other artists working in the company and make contact with them if you need some help during the portfolio creation. Most of them will reply you with good feedback in order to achieve your goals in that company. So here there are some key points to remember. Sorry. So the first one, make your portfolio thinking that it's a visual presentation letter that showcase not only beautiful art but also your artistic skills and creativity. The second one, remember again, quality over quantity. That's super important. And make your portfolio having in mind the two types of it, or try to mix it. It's a good option. So research the company before sending your portfolio and trying to match the job offer needs. And remember to networking. This is super important. It's more easy to highlight yourself if people know you. So, in conclusion, I would like to encourage you to create your own portfolios and enjoy the process. Creating a portfolio can take time and effort, but it's important to remember that it's a valuable tool for your career in the video game industry. So make sure to be honest with yourself and choose pieces that truly reflect your ability and passion. And remember, it's not just about showcasing your technical skills, but also your creativity and ability to work as part of a team. So, finally, don't give up on your job search. Be patient and trust in your abilities. Also, be flexible. With a great portfolio and a good network of contacts, you can achieve your goals or at least build a good process to step by step find a new way to search your goals. But the most important is enjoy the journey. So thank you all, and that's it.
Thank you very much, Danny. We have some questions, so we have time for the to take some questions, and then you can stay and answer them later. Um, yeah, here's an interesting question. What about when a company doesn't provide a feedback after the rejection? How do you know where to improve?
Yeah, sometimes it's that happens a lot because I think they receive dozens and dozens of portfolios, and one thing you can make is maybe through LinkedIn, try to talk with the recruiter if you know him or her, and or talk with, for example, someone from the company. That's very useful, and I think for me it works a lot of times. So I think you can try with this, and yeah, but sometimes if you make some mistakes and you don't have what is your mistake, it can be frustrating. But try to make contact with someone from the company. I think they're going to have time to respond your questions about why you are not selected.
Good tips, Danny. You showed some T posting characters. Is it usually better to show them in that default posture or be bolder with their presentation?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
You showed some T posting characters. Is it
Uh-huh.
usually better to show them in that default posture or be bolder with their presentation?
Mm, it's better for me. It's better to show, for example, the default one, that like not a T pose, but for example, a more relaxed pose. But if you want, you can show other poses if it's relevant for the character. Like, for example, if it's an aggressive character, you can show the default pose can be him or her like aggressive. So yeah, don't hesitate to put like your character in this kind of poses, because you need to give information to, for example, the 3D artist that is later work with you. So if it's if it's put information in the table, so don't hesitate to put this kind of poses more relevant to the character.
How about the online portfolios? I've heard ArtStation links are very well liked as portfolios. Yes, sorry. How about the online portfolios? I've heard ArtStation links are very well liked as the portfolios, but it seems impossible to redesign this to fit each other different company.
Yeah, for me, ArtStation it's a good one, but I prefer to send a PDF portfolio because it's more personal and I can show more skills like design, for example. You can design a super good portfolio, like uh, like a graphic designer, not that professionally, but you can show more skills in a personal portfolio. If you are using ArtStation, mm, be sure to keep fresh and up to date. So don't have like in Instagram, right? A lot of artworks, because sometimes recruiters enter and make like slide, and it doesn't show anything. So it's better to have less, but remember again that quality over quantity in your personal portfolio and also in the ArtStation portfolio, the digital one. So yeah.
How do you handle tailoring your portfolio when applying to multiple companies? I'm sure about. I'm unsure. I'm unsure about what to hide show on ArtStation when I have different things I want to showcase for different openings.
Yeah, for this, I usually make my portfolio like the second one, like more technical one, because I like to always, for example, switch some artworks from the portfolio. For example, if I applying for a, I don't know, something that is related to cars, I put in the first option the cars I made. But for example, later I have characters that doesn't match with the company, I put it in the back. So recruiters will see what they are interested in. But sometimes you don't need to waste all this effort to make like a portfolio, personal portfolio for each company. You can switch your artworks to make something more generalist, and I think they're going to appreciate only to see, for example, the first ones that are the most important and relevant to them.
One last question. I'll ask you. There's many, Dennis, so I'll ask you to stay here. But
Yeah,
for
sure.
environment artists, is it good idea to include prop art entries as a portfolio post as well?
Prop art. Yeah, I think you can put. This is for a character artist. Sorry.
For environment artists, is it good idea to
Environment.
include prop art
Yeah,
pieces?
if you are looking, for example, as the beginning, as I said, if you are looking for a more small company, that more indie company, for example, it's good and it's cool to show your first your first thing that is environments. But also, if you can make props, don't hesitate. Put the props in the portfolio, maybe more in the back of the portfolio. But yeah, it's interesting. If you're applying for a more big company that is interested in your skill, that is environments, maybe you can make only a portfolio full of environments, and let's avoid props if you think there are not don't match the quality of the environments. So
Thank
if you think it match the quality, make the same, put it on back, and remember, for example, the recruiter, that you have more skills to show in the portfolio.
Thank you very much, Denny. Thank you for the excellent presentation. There's more questions, so I'll ask you to stay here and answer some of
Sure.
them.
Thank you.